My name is Ethan Carter. 3 months ago, I stood outside my younger brother's wedding while security escorted me off the property. Not because I was drunk. Not because I caused a scene. Not because I wasn't invited. I was removed because my brother looked me in the eye and told everyone I was just some distant cousin. What nobody at that wedding knew was that I secretly owned 40% of the company paying for the entire event. And 48 hours later, my brother would be begging me not to destroy his future. But before I tell you how that happened, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from. Now let me take you back to where this all started. Growing up in Phoenix, Arizona, my younger brother Tyler was the golden child. Everything came easy to him. He was handsome, popular, athletic. The kind of person who could walk into a room and have everyone laughing within 5 minutes. I was the opposite. Quiet, bookish, awkward. While Tyler was winning football trophies, I was teaching myself coding in my bedroom. While he was becoming prom king, I was fixing computers for neighbors to make extra money. My parents never hid who they preferred. Tyler got praise. I got expectations. Whenever Tyler failed, everyone rushed to help. Whenever I succeeded, people shrugged and said, "Well, that's Ethan." By 28, I'd moved to Seattle and launched a software company with 2 friends. After years of 18-hour workdays and sleeping in the office, we sold it. The deal made me wealthy. Not billionaire wealthy, but wealthy enough that I never had to worry about money again. My family knew I was successful. What they didn't know was exactly how successful. And I preferred it that way. Money changes people, especially family. Everything changed when Tyler got engaged. His fiancée, Madison, came from one of the richest families in Arizona. Her father owned a massive construction company. Country clubs, vacation homes, private jets, the whole package. The second Tyler got engaged, my parents became obsessed with appearances. Suddenly everything was about impressing Madison's family. Every conversation became a competition. Bigger venue, more expensive catering, more luxury, more status. Then one afternoon Tyler called me. His voice was unusually friendly. That should have been my first warning. "Ethan, man, I need a favor." Of course he did. The wedding budget had exploded. Madison's family expected something extravagant. Tyler couldn't afford it. My parents couldn't afford it. And somehow the solution was me. Again. They didn't ask for money directly. Instead, they wanted me to become a silent investor in Tyler's new business venture. A luxury fitness company he planned to launch after the wedding. The investment totaled $52,000. Tyler promised I'd be repaid within a year. My instinct screamed no. But he was my brother. So I agreed. Big mistake. Over the following months, things got strange. I wasn't invited to bachelor events. Family planning meetings happened without me. Group photos appeared online. I wasn't in them. Whenever I asked Tyler about it, he brushed me off. Just wedding stress. Don't overthink it. You're being sensitive. The classic responses people use when they don't want to tell the truth. Then came the final warning. 3 weeks before the wedding, I saw a social media post. Madison had uploaded a picture of both families together. The caption read, "Everyone who matters." Everyone was there. Except me. I stared at that photo for almost 10 minutes. Something felt wrong. Really wrong. But I ignored it. Because that's what people do when they desperately want to believe they're loved. The ceremony took place at a luxury resort outside Scottsdale. The place looked like something from a movie. Palm trees, crystal chandeliers, luxury cars lined up outside. More money than I'd ever seen spent on a single day. I arrived wearing a tailored black suit and carrying a wedding gift worth several $1,000s. As I approached the entrance, I noticed security watching me. That seemed odd. Then Tyler appeared. Perfect tuxedo. Perfect smile. Perfect life. At least on the surface. He walked toward me. And before I could congratulate him, he said something I'll never forget. "What are you doing here?" I laughed. I honestly thought he was joking. "I'm here for your wedding." His smile vanished. Then he looked at the security guards and said, "He's not supposed to be here." The world stopped. I felt every eye around us turn. "What are you talking about?" Tyler sighed dramatically, like I was the problem. Then he lowered his voice. "Madison's family thinks you're a distant cousin." I blinked. "What?" "They don't know you're my brother." For a second I couldn't process what I'd heard. My own brother. My own flesh and blood. Had spent months pretending I didn't exist. What? Because I wasn't flashy enough. Because I wasn't married. Because I didn't fit the image he wanted to sell. I looked around. 300 guests. Family. Friends. business partners. And none of them knew who I really was. Security stepped closer. Tyler pointed toward the parking lot. You need to leave. I wish I could tell you I exploded. I wish I could tell you I exposed everything right there. But I didn't. Because sometimes betrayal is so shocking that your anger arrives later. At that moment all I felt was numb. I handed the wedding gift to a nearby attendant, turned around, and walked away. Behind me the wedding music started. The celebration continued. And nobody noticed the groom's brother had just been erased. I drove back to my hotel, sat on the edge of the bed, and stared at the city lights. Then my phone buzzed. A notification from my investment account. That's when I remembered something. Something Tyler had completely forgotten. The company he'd begged me to invest in? I wasn't just an investor anymore. I was the majority shareholder. Legally, contractually, completely. And Tyler had signed every document. The next morning I called my attorney. I explained everything. Every detail. Every humiliation. Every lie. There was a long pause. Then my attorney asked, "Do you want revenge?" I thought about it. Really thought about it. Then I answered honestly. No. Another pause. What do you want? The answer came instantly. I want consequences. Because revenge is emotional. Consequences are earned. And Tyler had earned them. Monday morning, Tyler's phone rang. Then it rang again. And again. His business partners were calling. Investors were calling. Accountants were calling. Because as majority shareholder, I had exercised my legal rights. Every major decision now required my approval. Expansion plans? Frozen. Funding requests? Denied. New contracts? Paused. Nothing illegal. Nothing unethical. Just business. Pure business. By Tuesday afternoon Tyler finally called me. For the first time in weeks. His voice sounded terrified. "Ethan, what are you doing?" I remained calm. "What do you mean?" "You know exactly what I mean." I did. But I wanted to hear him say it. "You've stopped everything." I leaned back in my chair. "Interesting. Ethan, please. Please." Funny word. I hadn't heard it at the wedding. Then came the moment I'd waited for. The moment Tyler finally understood. "Why are you doing this?" Silence. Then I answered. "Because apparently we're not family." The line went completely quiet. No excuses. No arguments. No manipulation. Just silence. Because he finally understood. You can't publicly erase someone and privately expect their support. You can't treat people like strangers and still demand loyalty. You can't humiliate someone and expect them to keep financing your dreams. For the first time in his life, Tyler faced consequences. Real consequences. And he hated every second of it. Within 2 months, Tyler sold most of his ownership stake. The business survived. Barely. His marriage survived too. Though from what I've heard, not without problems. Madison eventually learned the truth. Everything. The lies. The wedding. The humiliation. And she wasn't impressed. My parents spent months blaming me. Until one uncomfortable question kept coming up. If Tyler was innocent, why did he lie? Nobody ever had an answer. Including Tyler. The biggest lesson I learned wasn't about revenge. It was about self-respect. For years I thought loyalty meant accepting bad treatment. I thought being the bigger person meant staying quiet. I was wrong. Sometimes being the bigger person means walking away. And letting people experience the consequences of their choices. Because respect isn't something you buy. It's something people either give freely, or don't deserve from you at all. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more unbelievable revenge stories every week. And tell me in the comments. If your own brother publicly denied you existed, would you have helped him afterward? Or would you have done exactly what Ethan did? I'll be reading every comment. And I'll see you in the next story.